I want to thank everybody for joining us today and also say happy holidays to everybody. And know it's a busy time, so we really appreciate you being here with us for our retail recovery Q&A session with your local SBDC advisors from the Watertown Oswego SBDC offices. So just started out with this slide. We're thinking about past the holidays, right, with retail stores and what's happening. And we don't mean to share this with and to undermine what's going on for retail operators right now. We know there's going to be still a lot of uncertainty going on during the winter. We want to have those conversations today with you if you want. But we're also hoping that if you are deciding to stay open, for the winter and moving forward, and that makes sense, that, we're thinking about how we can help customers, through the winter months, right? The probably quiet months that we have ahead of us, and what as retailers can you do to make that time easier for your customers? And it's coming to mind for me, right? Like these gift cards that might come to people over the holidays, maybe some people will be holding out for January and February to enjoy those gift cards. And what else maybe can you do for those customers too, if you're planning to stay open during the winter months? So I want to get started just with a quick agenda. Today's topics are going to include those kinds of things as far as, how you can best serve your customers. How are you promoting to your customers? Are you using e-commerce? Some tips that way. Also cutting costs, those kinds of things. So we do want this to be a conversation. I am going to be moderating a Q&A with the local SBDC advisors, but we're certainly hoping to leave plenty of time at the end for your own questions or ideas and that kind of thing. And we also want to reiterate that, the SBDC advisors that you're going to be hearing from today, they are here to help you on an individual basis. And so it's always good if you have any questions or any uncertainties or anything you need to work through that you can reach out to them. So I want now to introduce you to Liz Lonergan. She is the director of the Watertown Oswego SBDC. Welcome, Liz.
Thanks, Erika. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. And I want to thank Erika Davis and Ryan Benson Smith, who have done so much work on this. They are our disaster consultants, and they are both fabulous and have taken to the SBDC like ducks to water. So in addition to our core staff, we have those two fabulous people who have outstanding experience in retail, social media, and e-commerce. And you'll be hearing from us on the social media and e-commerce topics more in 2021. I also want to thank Kylie Peck and Jessica Piet-Walzak from the Greater Watertown North Country Chamber of Commerce, who are so kindly permitted us to simulcast. We are live on Zoom and on Facebook Live through our own Facebook, Watertown Oswego SBDC, and also on the Greater Watertown North Country Chamber of Commerce's Facebook, because they have a big audience, and we're so appreciative of their partnership, not only today, but always. They're terrific to work with. And any businesses who aren't members, we encourage you to consider becoming a member. We know these are highly individual, personal decisions. Stay open, change your hours, not stay open. And the information that we're offering today is of the more generic variety. We realize that. But we have plenty of capacity for new clients. We encourage you to call us, email us, follow us on Facebook, follow the Chamber on Facebook, learn what we're up to. All of our services are free and confidential, and we can really offer personalized attention in a way that few resources in our area can. So we hope you consider becoming members or becoming clients. Thanks, everybody.
Great. Thank you, Liz. Appreciate all of that. And actually, before I introduce the SBDC advisors, we are going to actually conduct a few polls. So the first one is, well, the big question, right? Are you planning to stay open for the winter? 100% yes. Oh my goodness, that's really incredibly good news. So all that we're about to share will be relevant, right? And that's really awesome. So, all right. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to John Halleron, who is an SBDC advisor from the Oswego SBDC office. And I also want to introduce Robin Stephenson, who is an SBDC advisor at the Watertown SBDC. and Kiah Sugrue, also from the Watertown SBDC. So great to have all of you here. You know, I know that you're used to working with your clients one-on-one, but it's also so great to hear you guys, you know, talk together. You so much experience combined. So John, can you talk to us a little bit just generally before we get started on specific topics about how you help clients at the SBDC?
Sure. Well, as Liz had mentioned, all of our services are free, confidential, and individualized. We can help with anything that you need to have done. And if we don't have the answers, we've got advisors across the state that we can call on for assistance. We have a research network that can pretty much find out anything you need to know. We have access to industry standards for gauging your productivity, your cost-cutting measures and so forth. So there's a lot that we can do behind the scenes and right in front of you right now. So don't be afraid to call us. Don't be afraid to call us at all.
Right, exactly. All right. Well, thank you very much. The first thing we want to talk about is what can retailers do to best serve their customers throughout the winter? And, you know, I think this quote is great. It's not just about the product, right? But it's also about who's behind the product, and especially right now. So who wants to start that conversation up?
I will. It is very important to let your customers know that you are thinking of them. And with the sanitization, we want to stop the spread. Yes, in the North Country, our numbers are going up. But if you keep an open dialect with your clients and showing them that you're sanitizing all the time, some businesses will have hand sanitizer when they first walk in. Well, maybe have one near the back of the store too. So it's just a second hand wash because everybody's touching things. I do want to point out there was a local retail establishment in my area who ended up having a couple of their employees did test for positive. And then the rumor mill started. After not even within a couple of days, it was said that they had 14 people of their employees. And so people were really intimidated going to the store. Well, they were very proactive and wanted to get ahead of the rumor mill. And so they reached out and explained on their Facebook page and said, yes, we do have two employees that tested positive, but it was the night crew. There were no customers around. Then they went on to explain that they fogged the whole store and all the sanitizing measures that they did. And not only did they post it on their Facebook, but they reached out to other media because it's all about, your customer and retain that confidence of your client and your customer. Communication is key. As long as you're being open and honest with them. They even said in their Facebook posts that also, if you are sick, please stay home because that's part of transmitting it. They're there for the customers. They said, if you're sick and at home, we will deliver. All you have to do is call us, give us your list, and we'll deliver to you. Keep their confidence in you that you're doing everything you can to keep them safe, as well as you and your employees.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of the key things that you said as far as that full disclosure, and gaining the trust of people, especially right now, is so very, very important. What else? What else do you guys have to share about really serving customers right now?
Something else to consider is just making sure that you're consistent with keeping your hours of operation updated. There's nothing worse than taking time out of your day and going to a store to find out they're closed. So just making sure that you're making the correct updates to your website, all your social media platforms, your voicemail, the sign on your front door. Same goes for your regular promotions. Keep them updated. The great thing about posting to your social media is that it increases your SEO, your search engine optimization, which increases awareness of your business. This drives your website to the first page when people are doing searches. Other things to think about is just trying to exceed customers' expectations right now by providing an experience. Even if you're an online business, do like an outdoor photo shoot and post it to your social media, post it to your website. Show people how to layer using merchandise in your store. If you're a bricks and mortar, collaborate with other retailers. Maybe do like an outdoor fashion show. Offer personalized private shopping appointments. Maybe you can even provide a private shopper for your customer. Other things maybe to do are become an essential retailer, offer food and drinks, pet products, maybe some PPE gear in your shops. Carry local products, local art, handcrafted items, local foods, logoed swag. Create bundled care packages for quarantine and stay-at-home survival. Offer curbside pickup and home delivery. Focus on the surprise and delight. It's all about the personal touches. Serve coffee, hot cocoa, offer bottled water. If you can do complimentary wine, just something special for customers. These are all just a few ideas on how to serve during the pandemic.
Yeah, I love all those specific thoughts and ideas that will probably spur other ideas too. John, any thoughts about serving customers right now and throughout the winter?
Make sure you show that you're committed to your customers and you're committed to your community. That's really the whole key. And in small villages and big cities, the customer's king. Just show them you're committed and respect them.
That exceptional customer service right now is super key. Yeah. We do have another survey right now specific to e-commerce, right? Very important right now. So we're wondering if you have made the pivot to e-commerce. So we actually have 100% of people saying that they have not pivoted to e-commerce yet. So hopefully we can, talk through some of the ideas on how to do that best. And we did have another question, which I don't know was relevant at this point, but we were going to say, if so, what payment platforms are you using? Actually, we can still ask that question because it may not necessarily be related to e-commerce either. It looks like it's across the board, people are using different platforms. So 50% Square, 50% Shopify, and 50% Etsy. I think the Etsy is really interesting, especially for people who are creating their own products too. Let's talk a little bit about how retailers should promote their goods, right, during the pandemic and what's important there. Who wants to start?
Being sensitive to your customers' fears and needs during the pandemic is just really important. Use your social media, your website, signage to drive home that you're following all safety guidelines. Marketing is everything when it comes to a small business. People need to know where you're located, what your price point is, what you're selling. It's all about promotion. Review your marketing strategy. Go back to the 4 P's of marketing: product, price, place, promotion. It starts with your product. What are you selling? Is there something special and unique about it? Is it better than your competitors? Why should they buy from you? If you struggle with answering any of these questions, it might be time to reevaluate what you're selling. Then there's your price. How much is a consumer willing to pay for your product? Several factors go into play when determining that. You need to look at competitors' pricing, the cost of materials in production, market fluctuation, just basic supply and demand. Beyond those factors, there's situations when businesses inflate their price to increase the perceived value of what they're selling. And then others may charge less than the product's even worth just to build that customer loyalty. I look at Bob Johnson's on Washington Street through the new car dealership. They took over the Capreras over there, and they are offering huge incentives. They're selling under cost just to build that lifelong customer right now. The next thing you want to think about is your place. Where are you located, whether you're a bricks and mortar store or you're an online digital store? Are you situated in a place where your product is easily getting in front of your customer? Finally, promotion. How are you advertising and promoting your products? Having a website's number one. If you don't have one, you definitely need to call us. We can help you develop and brainstorm content and connect you to affordable web developers. I was just looking the other day, and Shopify is offering a free 90-day trial. So there's no better time to get your product online than right now. A few other important things to mention about your website is just making sure that it's user-friendly and easy to navigate. It's up-to-date, current, and trendy, and your promotions are clear, visible, and your message stands out.
Yeah, great. And I think also, you know, what you were talking about the SEO before too, is that, you know, making sure to, like you said, stay up to date, you know, change it frequently, you know, make sure that all of that is, you know, something that you're really working on almost on a daily basis, right, along with your social media, for sure. What else about promoting products and goods during the pandemic?
Down the street, there's a candy shop, and this individual is on Facebook 2 or 3 times a day with new product, new ideas. She even partnered with a local photographer to do a Candyland Christmas, where you could make an appointment to come in, have your pictures taken in a setting inside the store. And we have another individual who runs a boutique. It's called Fashion Rescue 911. And she actually has a brick and mortar, but she also bought an old fire department rescue vehicle, decked it all out, and does little pop-up shows all over the place. So, you know, things like that, they get your attention and really give you that top of mind branding.
Always so cool to hear about what other local retailers are doing, and some of that real creativity that's going into the little pop-up events or that kind of thing, I think can make a really big difference this winter. Robin, anything to add?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, definitely online marketing is great, but also remember to go back to grassroots marketing. You know, find out who some of your customers are. Some of your clients might be the snowbirds, and those snowbirds are not leaving, so they're staying here. So they might not be up on the new trends with, you know, Instagram, all that social media. So maybe grassroots, maybe a direct mail piece would be something neat that you could do, highlighting an event that you have coming on, or highlighting a product that you've got going out there. You know, that's some of the things that you can do. And we, as Kiah and John said, the digital marketing, we at the SBDC can help you evaluate what would be good for you and point you into the right direction to professionals that can help you build like that web page. But again, if you're going to do the social media, you have to stay up on it, have to keep it fresh and keep it good. Some business owners aren't tech savvy. Check with your employees. You might have an employee that is all on top of all that social media, and you can get their opinions and thoughts on how to keep it fresh and new.
Great ideas. Absolutely. Absolutely. And getting that help from other people who are better at it, right? We all have our strengths. That's another key point. So speaking of employees, let's talk a little bit about what retailers can do to retain and motivate their staff over the winter.
The best thing you can do with your staff is be open and honest with them. Let them know what they can expect in terms of hours, what they can expect in terms of support, and really just take care of them. You know, pay them extra hours for deliveries, get creative, and look at people's special talents. You may have an employee that is really, really good at social media. You might want to put them on the social media part and pay them to do that. Another thing you want to do is ask for their input. What ideas do they bring to the table? And not just listen to them, but if they're good, implement them. Your staff can make you or break you. So it's really in your best interest to keep those folks that you have that know what they're doing and cater to them. That way they can take care of your customers when they come in.
Yeah, I think that's so important, especially like this image portrays, right? I mean, staff are being asked to do so many extra things as far as keeping things safe for customers and everything, and showing that appreciation is so important right now, for sure. What else as far as retaining and motivating staff right now?
I think it's just really important to stay up to date and communicate any changes to COVID-19 restrictions and regulations. Never assume that your staff is automatically going to know. This is going to make them feel protected and safe and valuable, knowing that they are protecting your business. Providing them with PPE gear such as masks, sanitation, gloves, and also ask them if they need to feel safe. Let them know that you care for them. That really does go a long ways.
Absolutely.
I had a client, a local business, what they did something really cool. In each week, they pick out on Wednesday, they highlight one of their employees and post it on their social media, and just say that how thankful they are that this employee is here and stepping up to the plate. And it's really cool. The customers will respond to that post and say, yeah, so and so helped me do this. They're great, and it makes that employee feel a little bit more valued, and it's not demeaning in any way. And they just kind of want their employees to know, and thank you for stepping up and during all these times, because we've seen everybody is doing more above and beyond of what our normal scope of work, because we have to do the sanitizing to help make our customers and ourselves and our employees feel safe during these trying times. Another thing is, as Kiah and John were saying, listen to your employees. Another store, one of their employees, it came down with COVID and they've recuperated, but he's still having some residual effects by it. Well, they asked the owner of the store, asked for donations to help this one employee. And the staff was more than happy to donate, but also the local customers too donated to help them get back on their feet. So it's, again, that business is showing that how thankful they are for the employees that they have that are stepping up.
Yeah, that's great. Going back to this, not just the product, but who's behind the product, right? And that goes for taking care of staff too, for sure, because your customers see that, and they recognize that too. And what you were saying, Robin, about using social media, the social media platforms to recognize your employees. I think that as long as they're okay with it, right, that it's a great way to get that recognition out there for them, and very motivating, I think, right now too. So let's talk about, the elephant in the room, reducing costs, and some ideas about how, especially during the winter, what retailers can do to reduce their costs.
Well, this is really a good opportunity to take advantage of some of the services that we can provide. But the thing you really need to know is know your numbers. Analyze every single cost. Where can you cut? Do you need to do the renovation that you planned on doing? Probably not. So really take a close look at where your money is going. And it's a great time to start nurturing the relationships with your bail team, which is your banker, your accountant, your insurance agent, and your lawyer. And also start talking to your suppliers. Start talking to the landlord. Start talking to the lenders and let them know, we could be seeing some difficult times here. Maybe we can avoid problems by getting on top of them and talking them out. Take a look at your hours. Obviously, during the holidays, you're not going to have to worry about it because people are shopping. After the holidays, analyze the slow times, and don't be afraid to tell your customers, hey, we have to close during this time. I'm sure you understand, but we'll be there when you need us. But we are closing during this time. And maybe those close times might be a good time to offer delivery services. Reduce your inventory. My late colleague Larry always said, never become attached to your inventory. If it's not selling, Just get rid of it. Sell it at a loss because it's bringing cash in as opposed to sitting there just doing nothing. So, again, carry the local products. Try to take care of the best employees that you have, but really keep an eye on those costs. What do you have to do? What don't you have to do? And again, communication with staff, with customers, and with your supply chain. That's the key.
Yeah, and what I'm hearing you say there too is definitely communication and just, making sure those relationships, are there in the first place and continuing to develop those relationships and that trust between your vendors and landlord and your bail team for sure, as well as those customers, right? So,
oh, absolutely.
What else as far as reducing costs?
I think John really nailed it. Just really track your promotions, track what's selling. And if it's not selling, like John said, it's time to mark it down. If it's collecting dust on your shelf, have a sale. Just recoup that cash and move forward. Ask and listen to your customers what their wants and needs are. Try to just keep it as simple as possible. Provide what they want if you can. And like John said, reducing hours of operation, that could be huge. On the slower days, you could reduce staff and maybe just provide the deliveries 1 or 2 days a week. Another great way to save on employment costs would be to hire subcontractors to provide the delivery services. This could ultimately turn into another revenue stream down the road.
Definitely. Yeah. Some other great ideas.
With the trying times that are coming and our numbers are increasing, we're worried that we might go back into a pause or slow down. There is, you need to reach out to your SBDC advisor for opportunity. If there's more federal funding that's coming out, there is talk of a relief stimulus that's out there, a relief program. They're talking of reopening the triple P. And making more monies available if we go back into a shutdown. The next few months are going to be very hard and trying. We definitely understand that. And we as advisors, we're here to help you. Usually we're one of the first ones to hear what programs are going to be available. So reach out to us and reach out. If you've already worked with one of the advisors, that's fantastic. But if you haven't talked to them in a little while, just give them a shout and say, hey, have you heard anything? What's going on? How can I get through these trying times? Because if there's funding available, we're going to know about it and we're going to help you through that whole application process.
Yeah, and that is just huge, moving forward, and especially as we're hearing a little bit more about a stimulus package hopefully happening as an option for some people. So good to know that they can stay up to date by calling you guys, by calling the office. It's really good. Okay, any other thoughts about cost reduction?
One of our attendees, Emily Herman, just wrote a comment and said that she sells wholesale products in her business, and during the slow times, they ask their vendors for net 60 instead of net 30 to pay. And so I wrote a comment back, and it's a great point. And I think the bigger point is that during the pandemic, during this situation, everyone on the planet understands that we're all challenged, and it's okay to ask for help. And by help, I mean that very broadly. You can ask the SBDC for help. You can ask other economic development agencies for help. You can talk to your suppliers. It's not an isolated thing where someone in California or China is saying, wait, what's the problem there in upstate New York? Everybody knows what the problem is. Everybody wants to get through this. And I just wanted to share that briefly because I thought Emily had an outstanding point, and I just wanted
absolutely to yeah. Thank you. And thank you, Emily, for sharing that too. And I can piggyback on that by saying that, I owned an independent bookstore and coffee house for 10 years in upstate. And, I would get on the phone with my vendors and ask for 60 days, even without a pandemic, and especially during the winter months. important to know that that is, something not that you just can do, but that you should do sometimes. And it's something that keeps you afloat, especially if you tend to be in a seasonal area and that kind of thing. I can't stress that enough myself. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
Well, don't forget, there's also the golden rule of banking. When things start going bad, start talking to your lenders. And the rule is they have all the gold, they make all the rules. And there are things that they can do that can reduce the stress, but you got to talk to them.
The key is communication. Not only communicate to your customers, but also to your vendors and your staff. Communication, because that's going to lead you to find ways to help you through these trying times. Communicate to everybody.
Absolutely. Great. Yeah. Great point. Great points. Yeah, for sure. So, all right. So let's keep going here. So how can retailers create incremental revenue streams? Maybe some thoughts and ideas that way.
Think about what your products are and think about what would go with them. What's a complementary? Like, for example, again, I'm going to take the sweet shop. She has ice cream and she has candy. Think about what your customers would like to have you carry. Go out of the box a little bit. So you're a clothing store. Maybe you do carry some essential items in there, such as, school supplies, things along that line. Because I think more and more people are going to be shopping in the smaller shops as opposed to the big box. So ask them, hey, if I had this, would you buy it? Or what would you like me to carry that can make your life easier? And again, create an incremental stream for you. Consider apparel like these, like Robin and I are wearing. Get masks, get hats, get shirts with your brand, your logo on it. People like that kind of stuff. And they'll pick them up on an impulse just because, oh, hey, I'd like to have that. So think about that. Again, local is going to be the key. The more local products that you can bring in, it's going to demonstrate, again, that commitment to the community, the commitment to the customer, your staff, and to you. So that's what I would say. Find something that's going to complement what you have and sell it.
Other thoughts about revenue streams?
I have been thinking a lot about survival kits. If retailers can create small little packages to fulfill a purpose, something like just like a PPE survival kit with masks, gloves, Clorox wipes, etc. Target customers who are working remotely, working at home. What do they need? Maybe just like a little kit with supplies with pens, notepads, calendar, staples, pen drives. You could target families with children. There's a lot of bored kids at home right now. Create craft and artsy kits or dinner kits, such as like pizza and taco kits, something easy for them to take home and prepare. Parents will love it. They won't have to cook that evening, and it'll give them some time to themselves, and kids will stay busy. There's a lot of snowbirds that are sticking around this winter, cooped up inside. Create a fun survival kit for them just to pass time, like crossword puzzles, include cards, teas, coffee, baking kits, or create a DIY video. Learn how, like teaching you how to knit or crochet, providing that survival kit with the yarn and the crochet needles and instructions. Survival kits are endless. If you have pets, you can even prepare a little package with treats and food and toys. These are all, extra income generators for your business.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm hearing a common thread here as far as creativity goes, right? Getting the creative juices flowing for sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Other thoughts?
Yeah, sometimes, collaborate with local vendors, help each other out. with the pandemic, a lot of craft vendors didn't have the events that they could go to sell their wares. A lot of craft vendors don't have a retail shop. Well, I have a friend who has a little shop at her home, and she ended up opening her doors to a lot of the vendors that didn't have opportunity to go to craft shows. So she was helping them work together at selling their product, and the numbers started creeping up. And she realized that a lot of her friends didn't even have online presence, didn't have Facebook, didn't have Instagram. So she, and at no charge to her friends, she helped them with getting online, so that as the numbers are creeping up, because the client decided to shut her doors for a little while to slow down the numbers, but she helped all of those. There was a good number of vendors that she was working with. So, that helps create revenue streams for all of them. They don't have the craft shows they can go to or the events. Well, this is the next step. Let's try to go online. And she helped them with that. These are really trying times. And more times than now is the time to help each other, business to business, to help each other, to, help them get some revenues, help them find some money, and help them survive the winter.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you don't ever know like what's going to come of that too, right? The positive things that can come from that down the line as far as working together and that kind of thing.
There's a design studio here in my village, and the owner of the studio actually runs workshops. So those people that attend the workshops buy product to use, and that increases the revenue. Kiah, you were talking about the take-home kits for cooking. Little pizza place here. They offer pizza kits,
Probably a little bit more cost effective. And I'm thinking that just like Kiah said, that some of those workshops, could be online workshops. You figure that out. They pick up the supplies they need, to do a project or something like that. And then there can be an online safe at home workshop that they attend. So yeah, great idea.
Yeah, the trend even with Christmas cookies. So people don't know how to make Christmas cookies, but kids love to decorate. I mean, you're seeing stores putting together those little Christmas cookie kits. The cookie's all made, but here's the frosting, here's the sprinkles and everything. And that's really something fun to do. So think about, it might not be Christmas cookies, but in the winter, well, you got Valentine's Day, you got St. Patrick's Day. You can do those same type of things, just change the holiday, because it's 3 months. We're going to be inside because, it's the North Country, and we're going to have some of that white stuff, and it's going to be a little chillier. So doing something like that is really cool.
Yeah. Just because the holidays are over, right? It doesn't mean that there aren't other things to look forward to, and that retailers can take advantage of that for sure. So speaking of, we started talking about partnering with community and other people and other businesses. Let's talk for a few minutes about how do retail partners, or how can retailers partner with their communities?
Probably work with your local communities. Sometimes you might have an outdoor event, but you need the help of the local township to maybe come in and plow a certain area, so multiple businesses come in. When you're going to go and talk to that municipality, go in numbers, because you're going to show to that municipality, wow, there's several stores that need our help to really take and make this event a good quality event. To the point, maybe it's clear a parking lot, or maybe provide some heaters. They might have some heaters because it's going to be an outside event. So that's some of the things that you can do. And again, as I said, you have more impact when you go as a united group than just going one person. So talking to your businesses to see if they'll get together with you and work with your local chamber of commerce. Prime example is us right now. We're partnering with the chamber to help reach out to their client base, because we're reaching more people. And that's what sometimes working with your business to business and your local community, you reach more people than what you initially have.
Yeah. And once again, that communication and those relationships, right? Yeah. What else?
I think, Robin made some really great points. You just want to remember that spring's right around the corner. Try to stay ahead of the game. Keep in contact with your local municipality. Stay on top of any possible changes to come. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. It's never too early to start preparing. So we're going to continue to do these roundtables this winter, and we'd love to hear what your wants and needs are. If you can provide us any feedback, that would be great, and we really appreciate you all being with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And so if you do have questions and you want to or also ideas, input, that kind of thing, anything, we have, about maybe 10 minutes for conversation.
Erika, I've been monitoring the chat, and I already brought up the point that Emily made, because I thought it was very timely in that discussion. But we had another very thought-provoking question, which is how do retailers enforce mask rules? One of the things that I said in the chat, and anybody has anything else, please feel free to add, is communicate up front. Put a sign on your door, masks required. Make sure your staff are properly masked. And by properly, I mean not like this, like this. Covering the nose is important. And like, for example, there was a staff member stocking shelves with a bag of chips. And so they had their mask, they take a sip of soda, put their mask, touch products. The optics are everything. We all know. So you signage, make sure your staff are modeling proper behavior. And if they're having to have a snack on the shop floor, think about that. And I'm not talking about a quick sip of water. This was a full-on big bag of chips and large soda. And also on your social media, make sure post pictures of your staff with masks on, post pictures of your customers with masks on. Make sure that you are unequivocal in your approach to health and safety of everyone. Model the behavior, and if you have a customer that's giving your staff a hard time, make sure your staff knows that you will stand up for them. You'll stand behind them. I know the customer's always right. I get it. We've all worked in retail. We've all been there. But sometimes the customer isn't right. And this is one of those instances where the customer isn't right. Yes, you may anger a person. However, you also may anger a whole lot more people who will silently just stop shopping with you or doing business with you.
You know what you can also possibly do if that client is coming in and insists, maybe you can stop and say, hey, okay, give me your list, stay in your car, and I'll go grab your items for you, because you are at a risk. You try to explain and diffuse the situation. We don't want to have people upset, yelling and screaming, because that's not productive. But maybe to that point, say, okay, I understand you're uncomfortable. Maybe they have medical issues. We don't know, but just say, hold on. Maybe you can do that point is, here, give me your list or tell me what you need. I'll go in and grab it. Where's your money? I'll bring out the receipt. We'll pay it. Maybe something to that point. It's that customer service. Yes, in this time, not every client's right, but sometimes some people can't wear the mask because they have medical issues. And, and some people are just doing it because they downright refuse. But getting ahead of it, communicating, and maybe diffusing the situation by saying, hey, what's your list? I'll go in and get it. Where's your money? We'll try to work out it that way.
Yeah, great. Yeah, absolutely. And any other input as far as that mask ruling or self-policing?
No shirt, no shoes, no service.
Yeah. No mask, shoes, no shirt, no service.
I was getting there. I was going to get there. But, think about the greater good. Are you going to let one person destroy the whole customer base? Think about the cost benefit. 80% of your sales will come from 20% of your customers. Just kind of remember that, the old 80-20 rule.
Other questions, Liz?
Sarah says there was an article in the Sunday Watertown Daily Times about an effort to place life-size cardboard cutouts of local medical personnel and other people of influence wearing masks in the store. And it's called the Safe Community Project. So whatever it takes to keep us all safe, because we are so close to being able to conquer this. To John and Robin's point, for every jerk who won't wear a mask, and yeah, I said it, there are thousands of people who will. So remember who your customers are, and if you want some help with wording, give us a shout. We can help with that. We can help you with social media posts or signage, and an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So maybe this, an ounce of prevention is worth a vaccine. So just be safe, everyone, and be well. And remember that the greater good is what's important here.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if there aren't any other questions or anything else anybody wants to share, I think we will wrap up our session today. And again, just like Liz said, very much appreciate your time today. Please reach out to your SBDC advisors if you're needing help with anything, whether it be e-commerce, reducing costs, anything that we talked about today or anything else. They are here to help and would be happy to do so. And we want to thank you again for joining us. A happy, safe rest of the holiday season, and a very, very successful winter retail season as well. Hope this has been helpful. Thanks, everybody.